The young boy appeared to be gravely ill. The nurse asked him to wait in line to register, but Arthur felt helpless and suddenly collapsed on the ground. He was quickly rushed to the emergency room for treatment. As the doctor examined Arthur, he noticed a passport indicating that the boy was from Africa. Lena, the nurse, immediately asked everyone to stop and quickly put a mask on Arthur. She then reported the situation to the hospital director. It turned out that Arthur had just arrived in New York from Africa, and his symptoms were very similar to those of Ebola virus infection. Arthur was then taken to an isolation ward, and all medical staff were required to wear protective equipment. They needed to confirm whether Arthur was indeed infected with the Ebola virus. Just then, the FBI arrived at the hospital. According to their intelligence, a spy had smuggled an Ebola-infected person from Africa into the United States, and the hospital had just admitted a suspected virus carrier. The agents needed to question Arthur, but he claimed to know nothing about it. He said he came here because someone had offered him a well-paying job and bought him a plane ticket. Before leaving, they even gave him a vaccine injection. Arthur started feeling unwell as soon as he left the airport. At this point, the attending physician said that Arthur had simply been deceived. If he were really a spy, he wouldn't have come to the hospital for treatment. The doctor's words convinced the agents. Suddenly, Arthur's condition deteriorated. Lena rushed to check on him and found that he was having great difficulty breathing. She quickly told Arthur that the oxygen mask was above him and urged him to grab it. Arthur struggled to reach for it, but he passed out before he could get to the mask. In a moment of panic, Lena rushed into the room without putting on her protective helmet. She immediately began administering oxygen to Arthur. At this point, Arthur's heart rate was already dropping. Amid the crisis, Lena frantically searched the drawers for adrenaline. Fortunately, after injecting the adrenaline, Arthur slowly stabilized. Then, an unexpected incident occurred. Lena's glove was torn by the drawer, and her hand came into contact with Arthur's blood. Since the Ebola virus is transmitted through blood, Lena was quickly isolated as well. The next day, the FBI brought good news. They had successfully captured the spy. After interrogation, they discovered that the spy had mistaken the Lassa fever virus for the Ebola virus. What had actually been injected into Arthur's body was the Lassa fever virus. Although Lassa fever can be fatal, timely treatment can lead to a full recovery. Now, everyone was relieved for Arthur and deeply impressed by Lena's bravery.